hot day here in South Florida. We're at a Walmart parking lot, and we're gonna make this quick video here. And it's gonna start with transit, probably slide into trucks, but here at in Miami-Dade, we have mostly two types of buses. Apart from the articulators, when it comes to 40-footers, we got a few of the old war horses left, the navvies. We have mostly New Flyer CNGs and Gillig BRT CNGs. Now, a lot of the drivers don't like the Gilligs. They don't like the seating position, and they say it makes their back hurt. Some drivers say too tall for a Gillig, they don't have enough space. Others say they're too short and they don't reach the pedals. And it's always, every time, well, not every time, but there's always some kind of whenever somebody gets assigned a Gillig for a route, sometimes it's whining and complaining and blah 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 blah. Now, this is where I need your opinions on. I would love your opinion, and we can gotta keep bald head covered so we can go on the camera. Well, I'd like your opinion and what's the policy in your place. The administration's policy is we supply you equipment to operate, equipment that's certified, proven, and you're supposed to operate it. You're supposed to be able to operate it no matter what it is. And they use examples as we paying you came here to work, and this is what we got. If you don't like it, if it's too uncomfortable, go someplace else. Now, the only thing I can use in comparison was when I used to work at Marriott in-flight services, driving the trucks from the kitchen to the airport and catering the airliners. Now, we had the shorties trucks, the longer ones. The short ones were for the 727 stretch versions, it's a 27-200, that you could not access the rear galley with a full-size truck. Or you could, because I've seen Jerry's Caterers do it, but it's so close to hitting the wing or something on the aircraft. Just got to park here. So anyways, we had the short trucks, we had the longer trucks. I'm going to guess that the short trucks are maybe 20-footers, and the larger ones 25, 26. I don't know. And we had about 5 trucks, 822, 823, 830, 840, and 842, which were shorties. They were stick shift. They had no power steering. Whenever you had one of those trucks assigned to you, the front galley was no problem, but the rear galley, you had to make your, what they called your parallel safety stop next to the airplane, make sure you check your brakes. Then your helper will guide you in using signals, and you'll come right along the aft edge of the wing, then stop, and then you had to turn that wheel completely to the right using no power steering, and you had a stick shift transmission. And they would tell you to put the truck in neutral and then start turning. Because if you keep it in gear, you're doing all that turning, foot might slip out of the clutch and may make the truck buck, and you may make contact with the wing or something. So it was a pain in the butt, but it pained me. You had to do it. That's the truck they had. I mean, they were old trucks. They should have been retired a long time ago. I mean, this was back in '84. These trucks were from the late '60s, and that's what you got paid to drive. We get one truck in particular, number 840. I mean, none of them had air conditioning, not even the new ones. You hardly ever roll the windows up unless it was raining sideways, because if it was raining normally, you have that ramp to come into the aircraft over the roof of your cab, and it extends out a little bit, and it serves as a shield against the rain. But 840 had no driver's window, none at all. You had the knob there, you could turn it all you wanted to crank, and there was nothing there. 840 was also the hardest. 840 and 842 were the hardest to steer. They were hard. And the truck just, they were all propane. The truck just smelled bad. You figured it had a leak. If you were a partner with a smoker, you'd be terrified the shit was gonna blow up. And we made do. You know, we had newer shorties, you know, like 522 and 2481, which were newer Fords, and they were automatic, and they had nice power steering, and they ran so smooth, especially 522. They ran so smooth. But once in a while, you get stuck with an old truck. What are you gonna do? Say I'm not strong enough to make my back hurt? Then I got to give you something else. So I'm sure this happens in most workplaces where there's transportation. I mean, the short time that I drove a cab on the weekends, the cab company, the cab depot I worked out of, which was one of those super yellow places, super yellow taxi. They had mostly Chevrolet Impalas or Caprices. We're talking about the late 80s, early 90s now. And they came from the highway patrol. They had the cloth seating, and they had the older cars were raggedy Dodge Diplomats that came from the city of Miami. But I would, since I'm paying for the cab, because back then it was $47, you get a cab with a full tank of gas for 24 hours. Since I was paying for the cab, I would be choosy. Lucky for me, most people wanted the Caprices. I like the Diplomats. Why? Because they had vinyl seats and they had no carpeting. And some people will rent a cab and live in their cab for 4 or 5 days. And that velour interior or that cloth seats will start to smell really, really bad. On the Diplomats and the Grand Fury, I just had the vinyl seats. I'd come and I'd wipe it down real good, get in the car didn't smell. I mean, I drove 701 a lot. That was the next city of Miami, Dodge Diplomat, blue interior. It had almost 500,000 miles on it. The car had tilt steering without having tilt steering. You know what I mean by that? You would bring the steering column up and down, it was loose. it was had that cop car rattle. It was raggedy. You took it on the highway. You had all kind of wind noise and stuff. Nobody wanted it, and I kept it clean. The car had power steering, had kick-ass cold air conditioning, and if 701 was available, I'd take 701. So I made the mistake of taking a Caprice once, and never again. I could not get that smell out of me when I got home. And I usually used to rent the vehicle for 2 days for both of my days off. I took that one back the same day, and I said, no. I'm taking the next day off to get in the shower and spend the shower all day in the shower trying to get this thing started. So anyway, that's it for this video. I would like to have a discussion, see how it's done in your properties, whether you work for transit, trucks, cabs, anywhere where you have a variety of vehicles. Do you choose, and can you refuse? Let me know. Comments below, I'll read them all. And now at the end of the video, we're going to say a little thing about our sponsor. We have no sponsors. In fact, we have no viewers. But it was fun. Find the little red button. Y'all have a good day. Take care. Bye-bye. Miranda. And it's 93 degrees.